Basket Case is one of those cult 80s movies that's always been on my watch list that I've just never gotten around to seeing. I can't remember honestly if I bought this off a buddy of mine or he gave it to me as a gift. Either way, I appreciate it. It's been in the collection for a little while now, as one I've been meaning to get around to. The film is directed and written by Frank Henenlotter and is about a young man who carries around a basket with his deformed, used to be conjoined, twin brother inside, as they seek vengeance against doctors who separated them despite them wanting to stay together. The deformed brother speaks telepathically to the normalish brother, as the normalish brother, played by Kevin Van Hentenryck, hunts down the doctors but also falls for one of the doctor's receptionists. Honestly, I gotta be honest with you. I hated this film. Sorry, if you're a fan of this one, by no means don't let anything I say change the enjoyability of it for you, but I could not wait for the credits to scroll on this one. The performances are terrible across the board, like literally some of the worst performances I've ever seen, like Diana Brownie as Dr. Cutter. Just those dead eyes and that wooden delivery was painfully awful. Every line of dialogue is stiffly delivered, and some lines aren't even like laughably bad, they're just bad. The plot itself is fine, but doesn't lend itself to be overly gory or as exploitative enough to carry the bad elements. The gore effects look pretty bad, as that blood is like that candy red, non-believable blood. The basket case killing people is basically the actor being killed holding it up to their face and yelling. The brother himself isn't an awful design, but it's rather goofy than horrifying. This is one of those films that really needed to push the edge of being overly gory and violent to make up for the lack of everything else. It needed to do something more with what it had. I've seen a lot of films in this genre that have a lot of the same issues as this film does, but they lean harder into that sensationalism that helps pass along and forgives somewhat of its lacking qualities, which this film is really missing. You're setting your film in what seems to be like seedy New York, a revenge tale with an overpowered, deformed, possessive brother. There's a lot you could have done with this within its budgetary restrictions, but they just don't. It honestly feels like a bit more of a play-by-the-numbers kind of movie that really could have taken more risks. Honestly, the only thing that really caught my interest was the fact that when the brother had to move on its own without another actor in frame, they did it in stop-motion animation, which is pretty cool. It honestly could have used more of that. Speaking of the brother's constant screaming and the fact that his screaming is so much louder than the rest of the audio became incredibly annoying after a few bellows. Again, if you enjoy this film, nothing I say should matter to you. I know this has quite a cult following, enough to grant 2 more sequels that I'll probably never be watching. I'm just trying to express my opinions about the film and my response to the film, and I honestly got nothing out of it. I'm glad I finally get to cross this one off my list, but I'll probably never watch it again, and I'm giving this one a 2 out of 10.